Um, so I did my speech on the World Cup and how after the week of the Super Bowl I realized everybody's like, oh, Saints are the best team in the world. Well, that's not true because they didn't test the rest of the world. All the teams that played came from the United States, where the World Cup is based over the world. For my statistic, I found out that at the beginning of the World Cup, which most people don't know, the World Cup isn't just the last 32 teams, it's 3 years of games. It starts out with 204 national teams, which is a lot compared to there's only 30 MLB teams. And so if we break that down to a ratio, that's 6.8 soccer teams to 1 baseball team. And so you have a far greater amount of quality of players and range of players to play. And it just shows that the numbers for the World Cup are vastly superior than to any of that of the World Series, Super Bowl, Stanley Cup, any of those type of games. The next one I got for supporting evidence would be a testimony from Sepp Blatter, who is the FIFA president, which is basically the commanding soccer association for the world. And I got 2 good quotes, and one was quotations, over 1 billion people will see this on TV. And like, just to think about that number, like 1 billion people, like we don't even have that many people in the United States, and 1 billion people are going to watch one game. Another quote was, in 2002, the World Cup will be a milestone of world peace and harmony, transcending boundaries and nations, because the last World Cup was in kind of a more third world country, and so it was really great for them to have it there, because what it did was it created a vast amount of jobs. They say it's supposed to be like 500,000 jobs, and I just don't think any Super Bowl or anything can supply that amount of mass effects. The last one was an example, and it was the ticket sales of the 2010 World Cup coming up. On the 3rd ticket selling time frame was over 2 million tickets, and you guys are like, well, there's no stadium that can hold 2 million tickets, but it's not just one game, it's over like the course of 30 some odd games. So on the final 32 games, there's already been over 2 million tickets sold, and those 2 million tickets are sold to over 192 countries. So while the World Series has people coming from Canada and Mexico and Britain and maybe a few more countries, maybe Asia, a few Asian countries, they had 192 countries buy tickets for the World Cup coming up. With that said, all the evidence just goes to show me that the World Cup is the largest single sporting world event, and compared to the Olympics, but the Olympics is multi-sport, so yeah, I still think the World Cup is the biggest sport ever.